Welcome back to Happily Home Cooking. Today we're making the most amazing banana bread you have ever had. It's perfectly sweet and moist with a great crumb and has little dots of goodness and texture from chopped pecans and chocolate chips. Now, of course, I've put those in other banana breads before too, but there's a secret ingredient in this banana bread that I had never tried before, and it really puts it over the top. So make sure you're subscribed to our channel, and then I'm going to show you the secret to making perfect banana bread. Now, of course, the most important ingredient to our banana bread is these guys, those lonely little bananas that end up sitting on your counter for days or weeks and don't end up getting eaten. Not to worry, my little bananas, we are going to turn you into something delicious. These bananas may look a little past their prime for eating, but they are perfect for making banana bread. So the first thing I like to do is prepare my pans. I'm using 2 loaf pans, which I'm going to grease and flour so that our banana bread doesn't stick. I like to use Crisco vegetable shortening to grease them generously, and then we'll give them a coating of flour. Just dump a spoonful of flour in there and shake it around, tapping the sides until the bottom and sides are completely coated. Don't stress too much about this. It does not have to be perfect. I like to do this right over my other pan so that the extra flour just falls right in there. And then the second pan I'll do over the sink so it doesn't make a mess. Now, to start on our batter, in a large bowl, we'll assemble our dry ingredients. We'll start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 3/4 cups of granulated sugar, which of course you can adjust to suit your taste. I find this to be the perfect amount of sweetness for me. We'll add 1 teaspoon of sea salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And lastly, our secret ingredient, vanilla flavored Jell-O instant pudding. Now, I've used cake mixes before that have had pudding in them, and they're always really good. So I wondered if this would work in banana bread. And yes, the answer is yes. It really makes the difference between good banana bread and great banana bread. So I'm going to add 1 3.4 ounce box, that's the smaller box, of this vanilla instant pudding mix right into our dry ingredients. We'll give this all a quick whisk to combine. And then we'll set that aside and move on to our wet ingredients. We will start with our deliciously overripe bananas. I'm using 4 medium-sized bananas. After mashing them up, that comes out to be about 1.5 to 1 3/4 cups of mashed banana. It doesn't have to be exact, use what you have. And I like to use my potato masher for mashing up my bananas. I find it to be easier, but you can use a fork if you don't have a potato masher, and you can mash these up as much or as little as you like. If you like to have little chunks of banana, then mash them a little less. I like ours to be fairly smooth. Now, to our mashed bananas, we'll add 4 eggs, I like to give these eggs a quick little scramble just to start them breaking down a little bit before we add the rest of our liquid. You see how stubborn those egg yolks can be? Alright, now we got them. Now we're ready to add the rest of our ingredients. So now we'll add in 2/3 of a cup of oil. I like to use a nice neutral oil such as vegetable oil or avocado oil. And now we'll give this all a stir to combine it really well. Add our wet ingredients into our dry ingredients and stir to combine. We don't want to overmix this. We want our banana bread to be nice and tender, so we're only going to stir this until our dry ingredients have barely mixed in. Make sure you scrape the bottom of that bowl to get those pesky bits of flour that like to hide out down there at the bottom. Once you can't see any more flour, you're good to go. Now last but not least, we're going to add in 1 cup of pecans. We'll just give them a nice quick chop. I like to make mine nice and small, but if you prefer bigger pecan pieces, you make them as big or as small as you like. So we'll add these into our batter. Along with half a cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Give them a stir to gently combine all these goodies together. And then we'll pour our batter into our prepared pans, splitting it approximately evenly. And we will bake these at 350 degrees for about 1 hour and 10 minutes. After about 40 minutes, check and if your bread is already nicely browned, you can loosely place a piece of aluminum foil over the top to prevent it from getting too brown, and then let it continue baking until it tests done with a toothpick. You want to check to make sure that toothpick, when inserted in the middle, comes out nice and clean. Once my bread is done baking, I'll let it cool in the pan on a wire rack for about 10 minutes before removing it from the pan. I like to quickly run a knife around the edge of my pan just to make sure all of the bread comes out in one nice solid loaf. Then out of the pans comes our banana bread, and we'll let it finish cooling the rest of the way on its wire rack. Banana bread is of course great warm, so you really don't have to let this cool down all of the way before digging into it, but I do like to let it cool down at least a little bit so that it's not steaming hot. Not only does this stop you from burning your fingers and tongue, but I find it also helps with maintaining a great texture to the inside of the bread. Oh my goodness, can you smell this? Gosh, I wish you could. This smells amazing. Our bread holds together great. It's not a big crumbly mess, but it's going to be so tender on the inside when we cut it open. Look at that. Do you see it? Look at how beautiful and moist that is. The great texture from the pecans and chocolate chips waiting in there for us to dig in. This banana bread is so delicious. You don't even need butter, but serve it however you like it. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoy this banana bread recipe as much as we do. If you try it out, I would love to hear how you liked it, and if you make any changes to suit your taste, leave that down in the comments below as well. And before you go, make sure you are subscribed to our channel, and we'll see you next time. Happy home cooking!